sign in the front yard, as though it were a spaceship that had just landed and something sinister was about to step out. "Where's Dad?" Mom gave a weary wave toward the door. "He's in the basement." "In my room?" "Your old room, yes. You moved out, remember?" He did, at the tender age of 34, no less. Childcare experts would salivate and tusk over that one. The prodigal son choosing to remain in his split-level cocoon long after the deemed appropriate deadline for the butterfly to break free. But Myron might argue the opposite. He might bring up the fact that for generations, and in most cultures, offspring lived in the familial home until a ripe old age, that adopting such a philosophy could indeed be a societal boom, helping people stay rooted to something tangible in this era of the disintegrating nuclear family. Or, if that rationale didn't float your boat, Myron could try another. He had a million. But the truth of the matter was simple. He liked hanging out in the burbs with Mom and Dad, even if confessing such a sentiment was about as hip as an Air Supply 8-track. "So, what's going on?" he asked. "Your father doesn't know you're here yet," she said. "He thinks you're not coming for another hour." Myron nodded, puzzled. "What's he doing in the basement?" "He bought a computer. Your father plays with it down there." "Dad?" "My point exactly. The man can't change a light bulb without a manual. All of a sudden he's Bill Gates, always on the nest." "The net," Myron corrected. "The what?" "It's called the net, Mom." "I thought it was nest. The bird's nest or something." "No, it's net." "Are you sure? I know there's a bird in there somewhere." "The web, maybe," Myron tried. "Like with a spider?" She snapped her fingers. "That's it. Anyway, your father is on there all the time, weaving the web or whatever. He chats with people, Myron. That's what he tells me. He chats with complete strangers. Like he used to do with the CB radio, remember?" Myron remembered, circa 1976. Jewish dads in the suburbs, checking for Smokies on the way to the delicatessen. Mighty convoy of Cadillac Sevilles. 10-4, good buddy. "And that's not all," she went on. "He's typing his memoirs. A man who can't scribble down a grocery list without consulting Strunk and White suddenly thinks he's an ex-president." They were selling the house. Myron still couldn't believe it. His eyes wandered about the overly familiar surroundings, his gaze getting snagged on the photographs running up the stairwell. He saw his family mature via fashion, the skirts and sideburns lengthening and shortening, the quasi-hippie fringes and suede and tie-dyes, the leisure suits and bell-bottoms, the frilly tuxedos that would be too tacky for a Vegas casino, the years flying by frame, like one of those depressing life insurance commercials. He spotted the poses from his basketball days, a 6th-grade suburban league foul shot, an 8th-grade drive to the hoop, a high school slam dunk, the row ending with Sports Illustrated cover shots, 2 from his days at Duke, and 1 with his leg in a cast, and a large fonted, "Is he finished?" emblazoned across his knee-cast image, the answer in the mind's eye being an equally large fonted, "Yes." "So what's wrong?" he asked. "I didn't say anything was wrong." Myron shook his head, disappointed. "And you, a lawyer. Setting a bad example? It's no wonder I never ran for higher office." She folded her hands on her lap. "We need to chat." Myron didn't like the tone. "But not here," she added. "Let's take a walk around the block." Myron nodded and they rose. Before they reached the door, his cell phone rang. Myron snatched it up with the speed that would have made Wyatt Earp step back. He put the phone to his ear and cleared his throat. "MB Sports Reps," he said, silky smooth, professional-like. "This is Myron Bolitar speaking." "Nice phone voice," Esperanza said. "You sound like Billy D. ordering 2 Colt 45s. Esperanza Diaz was his longtime assistant and now sports agent partner at MB Sports Reps. M for Myron, the B for Bolitar, for those keeping score. "I was hoping you were Lamar," he said. "He hasn't called yet?" "Nope." He could almost see Esperanza frown. "We're in deep doo-doo here," she said. "We're not in deep doo-doo. We're just sucking a little wind, that's all." "Sucking a little wind," Esperanza repeated, "like Pavarotti running the Boston Marathon." "Good one," Myron said. "Thanks." Lamar Richardson was a power-hitting Golden Glove shortstop who'd just become a free agent. Free agent being a phrase agents whisper in the same way a mufti might whisper, "Praise Allah." Lamar was shopping for new representation and had whittled his final list down to 3 agencies, 2 supersized conglomerates with enough office space to house a price club, and the aforementioned pimple-on-the-buttocks but oh-so-personal MB sports reps. Go Pimple Butt. Myron watched his mother standing by the door. He switched ears and said, "Anything else?" "You'll never guess who called," Esperanza said. "Elle and Claudia demanding another menage-a-trois?" "Ooh, close." She would never just tell him. With his friends, everything was a TV game show. "How about a hint?" he said. "One of your ex-lovers." He felt a jolt. "Jessica." Esperanza made a buzzing noise. "Sorry, wrong bitch." Myron was puzzled. He'd only had 2 long-term relationships in his life. Jessica on and off for the past 13 years. Now very off. And before that, well, you'd have to go back to... Emily Downing? Esperanza made a ding-ding noise. A sudden image pierced his heart like a straight blade. He saw Emily sitting on that threadbare couch in the frat basement, smiling that smile at him, her legs bent and tucked under her, wearing his high school varsity jacket that was several sizes too big, her gesturing hands slipping down and disappearing into the sleeves. His mouth went dry. What did she want? "Don't know, but she said that she simply had to talk to you. She's very breathy, you know, like everything she says is a double entendre." With Emily, everything was. "She good in the sack?" Esperanza asked. Being an overly attractive bisexual, Esperanza viewed everyone as a potential sex partner. Myron wondered what that must be like, to have and thus weigh so many options. And then he decided to leave that road untraveled. Wise man. "What did Emily say exactly?" Myron said. "Nothing specific. She just spewed out a colorful assortment of breathy teasers. Urgent, life and death, grave matters, etc., etc. I don't want to talk to her. I didn't think so. If she calls back, you want me to give her the runaround?" "Please." "Más tarde, then." He hung up as a second image whacked him like a surprise wave at the beach. Senior year at Duke, Emily so composed as she dumped the varsity jacket onto his bed and walked out. Not long after that, she married the man who'd ruined Myron's life. Deep breaths, he told himself. In and out. That's it. "Everything okay?" Mom asked. "Fine." Mom shook her head again, disappointed. "I'm not lying," he said. "Fine, right, sure. You always breathe like an obscene phone call. Listen, if you don't want to tell your mother..." "I don't want to tell my mother." "Who raised you and..." Myron tuned her out, as was his custom. She was digressing again, taking on a past life or something. It was something she did a lot. One minute she was thoroughly modern, an early feminist who marched alongside Gloria Steinem and became proof that, to quote her old T-shirt, a woman's place is in the House and Senate. But at the sight of her son, her progressive attire slid to the floor and revealed the babushka-clad Yenta beneath the burned bra. It made for an interesting childhood. They headed out the front door. Myron kept his eyes on the for sale sign as though it might suddenly brandish a gun. His mind flashed onto something he had never actually seen. The sunny day when Mom and Dad had arrived here for the first time, hand in hand, Mom's belly swelling with child, both of them scared and exhilarated, realizing that this cookie-cut 3-bedroom split level would be their life vessel, their SS American dream. Now, like it or not, that journey was coming to an end. Forget that close one door, open another crap. That for sale sign marked the end of youth, of middle age, of a family, the universe of 2 people who'd started here and fought here and raised kids here and worked and carpooled and lived their lives here. They walked up the street. Leaves were piled along the curb, the surest sign of suburban autumn, while leaf blowers shattered the still air like helicopters over Saigon. Myron took the inside track so his path would skim the pile's edges. The dead leaves crackled under his sneakers, and he liked that. He wasn't sure why. "Your father spoke to you?" Mom said, half question. "About what happened to him?" Myron felt his stomach tense up. He veered deeper into the leaves, lifting his legs high and crunching louder. "Yes." "What did he say exactly?" Mom asked. "That he'd had chest pains while I was in the Caribbean." The Kaufman house had always been yellow, but the new family had painted it white. It looked wrong with the new color, out of place. Some homes had gone the aluminum siding route, while others had built on additions, bumping out the kitchens and master bedrooms. The young family who'd moved into the Miller home had gotten rid of the Miller's trademark overflowing flower boxes. The new owners of the